June. We're already in March. I was saying March and January. I thought that was a long time away.
Oh, my goodness. Time has slipped away from you as well, eh?
Exactly.
I love it.
Oh, easy. So this is the thing. We're going to have to pace ourselves and understand that the powers beyond us, which have and because it's non-emotional, it's the dynamic of the heavens, frankly. On a lot of levels. It's not just but the planets facilitate. Whatever this vast universe is about, just understand that the planets are the facilitating realm. They help set up the shift.
Yes, they do.
Dynamically.
Yes, they do.
And so here we are, and we're in a 2-year cycle of Uranus-Saturn. And this time, because, as I've talked about for months and months, the reason I think the outcome is going to be pretty positive is because of the fact that the Native American grandmothers are accessing Saturn's knowledge. The wisdom of Saturn has been transformed out of the authority figure into the Native American wisdom of the grandmothers. And so that energy comes to us on a different vibration. And that is very evident, too. So I see it as a transferring of, a positive transferring of power from the old paradigm into a new possibility. And that's what this Uranus-Saturn dynamic is all about.
Well, and, I had sent you some information, Nancy, that came into my email box about this particular opposition, the Saturn and Uranus opposition that lasts nearly 2 years.
Right.
And I'm just going to read a little part of this. This full moon is very auspicious in that it very closely aligns with Saturn, while the Sun is also closely aligned with Uranus. The power of this alignment is very great. The acceleration we've all been experiencing is highly resonant with the Saturn-Uranus opposition. This full moon is a great opportunity to get attuned and to work consciously with the energy of the alignment. Hidden opportunities are bound to emerge for those who are paying attention. So I found that little statement in there, those little statements in there, very, very powerful.
Yes.
And I really wanted to share that with the audience tonight because there was a huge amount of information in just those few lines.
And that's what's really important, and that is exactly what it is. That's exactly what's going on. And when you think back to again to the one we consciously know that we remember, some of us have just heard about it in history, but 65 to 67 was profound. It was very exciting. It was very, very exciting. And it felt like, oh my goodness, we really are going to be different. We are going to be different.
And boy, are we ever.
And that's exactly it. And whether it seemed messy and didn't seem to go, some people say, well, that was a bust. No, it wasn't. It was a prelude.
Yes.
That's what's more important. It was a prelude, and groundwork has to be laid. And that's just how it is. Groundwork has to be laid.
I agree.
So go ahead.
Well, all I was going to say was that, there was a couple things that I was going to say. First of all is that with this particular alignment coming up and that we're now in, we've all been looking at and been hearing about what is some of the trends that people can. Some of my guests that's been on, as an example, one of them is Cliff High, and he does those altar reports. I think you've probably heard that show. And, he talks about the trends over the next couple of years. And one of them that started in this year was transformation. And that this was going to be the year of change. that 2009 was going to go down in history as the great year of change. And that's exactly what's happened every time that this opposition takes effect.
Exactly.
The other thing that you and I have talked about before on this show is the fact that these energies of these planets out in our own solar system do affect us, whether we're conscious of them or not. But the entire solar system is going through massive changes. That's what the 2012 alignment to the galactic center is about. It's about energy. It's about changes. It's about shifting. It's about these planets are alive as Mother Earth is alive, as we're all alive. We're all part of the grand creation here. And we all have to really, really look at the enormity of this, and we have to own that. And we have to understand that we are a big part of this micro and macrocosm.
Absolutely. And it really is not, there's nothing random either about this. It is opportunities.
Yes.
It's very definitely, here are choices, you get to make them. And again, we have to let go of the old idea of, well, wait, I have to see, how does this fit? Well, that's not what I grew up with. I don't believe this. I mean, at least open yourself to what's possible, because there's so much that is and can change. Like I said, to see my clients who have spent a number of years immobilized, really immobilized, because of their fear, stepping up, and these are talented, gifted healers, stepping up and saying, I'm ready, I know what I'm supposed to do, I feel it in me, I know what I'm here for. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited because it's internal permission. Because that's another thing. We wait to see who says it's a good idea.
Yes, isn't that just the most weirdest enigma ever? And I think every one of us has went through that. I remember some wise person telling me when I was in my 30s, you don't need permission from anyone. And I remember thinking about that, going, huh? And it just really that simple statement, it was like, like I got hit over the head today.
Exactly.
And it was like lights came on and I went, oh my gosh, you're absolute. It was just such a profound moment in my life.
Yeah.
And it changed everything.
Exactly. And I had something like that happen in a workshop a number of years ago, where you could get a personal reading from the facilitator of the workshop, and so I was there, and I'd kind of gone with somebody else who wanted to go, and I thought, well, okay, and it was about power animals and all of that, and it was interesting, and so I went ahead and got a reading, and I sat down, and he looked at me, and he said, you need to recognize what a powerful woman you are. Well, I burst into tears because, excuse me, I'm the, last of 4 children. I was an afterthought. I mean, when you're programmed your whole life that no, you're not important to anybody really, and to be important, and that wasn't ego important. You've got things to offer, and you need to step up. And I just cried. And then I frankly went home and said, okay, start showing me.
Okay, I have to interrupt us. There was another reading, and I had just found it, and there's a lady in the chat box wanting to know about it, so I'm going to run it by her really, really quick.
Okay.
And this is a lady that is, her name is Sky. She's 6 months pregnant. She's having medical issues. What do you see for her in 2009? And I have to say to you, Anne, I'm very, very sorry we didn't get to this earlier. It's been a very discombobulated day, obviously, and there's no excuse. I'm just making an apology, but I am going to read for you now. Her birth date, by the way, Nancy, is 10/12/1974. She was born at 7:48 p.m. in Houston, Texas. I feel like that some of the medical issues that she has is due to some chemical imbalances, which is literally